What? Me vlog? I thought that I would make a vlog about my top 10 YouTube vloggers. Not that anybody cares what my top 10 are, but it's something to vlog about anyway. So let's get started. Now these are not in any kind of order. They're not in number 1 to number 10. I'm just going to randomly list them, and then I will put them in the description down below after the video, so you can, and I'll put a link in there so you can go check them out yourself if you haven't already. Some of these you will have already looked at, I'm sure. But anyway, here we go. Okay, and first up is going to be Messabout1, a vlogger from Alabama who has a voice that is as smooth as velvet. The man could be a professional announcer. His voice is so smooth. And he talks about things that interest him about his area. He's lived in the same town, I think, all of his life. And he takes you on tours of his town. He takes you on tours of the area around where he lives. His most recent one, Alabama got 10 inches of snow, which is highly unusual. And he went for an hour-long walk in the snow, right down the street from his house and into the park. And very interesting. Always like him. And with all of the people I'm going to list, I get I've set myself up to get an email every time they put a new vlog up, so I can jump on it right away and look at it. I enjoy these more than I do TV, really. And next up would be the Frugal Filmmaker. He does tutorials on DIY equipment for videoing. He maintains you don't have to spend a fortune to do this kind of thing. You don't have to have all the professional equipment. A lot of it you can make yourself. A lot of it you can buy at the dollar store. And he has some interesting designs. I have found that he was the most help for me getting started doing this. I didn't know, I made videos before years ago, but I really didn't know what I was doing. And after watching the Frugal Filmmaker, a number of his episodes have really helped me. And I think anybody who's interested in doing this kind of thing, definitely check out his channel. You're going to find some things that'll help you and save you a lot of money. So that would be another recommendation of mine. And next up would be Nathan and Rose, a young couple that do videos, I think 2 to 3 times a week on a regular basis, and they're very interested in science and those kinds of things. Recently they've had a little problem because they really were trying to make a living off the YouTube videos, from what I understand, and the only way you can do that is with AdSense, running ads on your YouTube site. Well, somebody kind of attacked them and clicked on a bunch of their ads, and once that happens, if somebody starts clicking on a bunch of ads, YouTube immediately takes notice. Their algorithms notice that immediately, and if it keeps up, they will take your account away. They still have a YouTube account, but they've lost the ability right now to make money from their YouTube account, which is kind of a rotten thing that somebody would do that. It's like hacking or anything like that. People that hack, I don't know why they do it, or just watch videos to make horrible comments. I'm not sure why people do that, but it happened to them. It's too bad, but they're very interesting. They're trudging on. They're still doing their shows 3 times a week. They've also started a channel where they do movie reviews, and they don't just review movies that are everyday movies. They kind of look for the ones that are hard to find and give you a hint on what those are about. And then there's Casey Neistat, probably a more professional video maker out of New York. Very, very creative. In fact, Casey and his brother had a show on HBO a number of years ago. And it just stemmed from them filming themselves, trying to break into the business, filming anything they could. And they had a bunch of videos that they had made. Somebody saw them and said, wow, this would make a great series. So they wound up on HBO. From that, it launched Casey's career. He does commercials, he does videos for YouTube that draw thousands and thousands and thousands of views. Very successful, very creative, and a very interesting guy. And he's in his 30s, so he's not very old, but somebody really worth watching, somebody that I enjoy. He does Snapchat videos almost on a daily basis, so you can kind of keep up with what he's doing. But his main channel videos are really super. And then there's Devin Graham, otherwise known as Supertramp, and he does extreme sports videos, and he is probably the premier Steadicam operator. He is an expert at Steadicam. So when he started out, I think he just pretty much used the Steadicam and did most everything himself. Now that he's very successful, he has a team. When they do a video now, it involves drones, it involves helicopters, everything. And of course him doing most of the filming. And exciting stuff you don't normally see, extreme sports, and filmed just beautifully all over the world. You need to check him out if you haven't. And one of my other favorites is the Ramblings of Bry. Bry is located in the UK. He lives in an RV, travels all around the UK, and makes videos about what he's doing, what it's like living in an RV. And he does artwork, beautiful paintings. Most of them are 5x7, small paintings that he offers for sale. And he's always got something interesting to talk about. He has a great little dog that's his pal. And he kind of tells you what it's like to travel around the English countryside in an RV and live in it full time. And next, you can't miss the Wheezy Waiter. You probably already know about the Wheezy Waiter if you watch YouTube, because his videos get an average of 50,000 views. So I think you've probably seen him, but if you haven't, you need to check out the Wheezy Waiter. Hilarious. Very, very clever, very, very funny. In fact, he has a thing that he does on Wednesdays, which are called Explosion Wednesdays, where as he's talking, an explosion will happen. Well, I just noticed that he said he's probably not going to do Explosion Wednesdays anymore. And if he's left it laying around, you know, I might grab that. Who knows?
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah. That'd be something that...
You do realize that's not...
has a band that he travels with. He'll usually video his tour across the nation. But just his everyday videos are very funny. He has a number of channels where he does a number of different things. Pure entertainment. And I like the Cheap Geek. He has all kinds of little ways to save a buck. Things you may not have thought of. He'll maybe buy something off of Amazon, some kind of a backpack or something like that that you may not know about. He'll describe it, tell you how it's made, and if he thinks it's you know, well made or not, something like that. All kinds of things that he does. Right now he is working on a camper van. So some of his videos are about working on the van. Then he'll throw in some item that he found that you should know about, or he may have an idea of a way of doing something that you had never thought of. So the Cheap Greek, yeah, okay. The Cheap Geek is a lot of fun, if you can pronounce geek. The Basic Filmmaker is another filmmaking channel that I watch, and he's quite a bit more professional, although he knows he can save you money on your video equipment, not necessarily by making your own equipment, or not necessarily by buying the cheapest equipment, but he'll show you how to use it so that you don't buy a bunch of unnecessary equipment. And he is excellent. I highly recommend the Basic Filmmaker. He'll give you some ideas if you're interested in doing this kind of thing, video or vlogging. He'll give you some ideas on how to use your equipment effectively, and you won't waste a lot of money on equipment that you don't need. And last but not least, Renetto. Renetto, or Paul Robinette, has a channel that he's a true vlogger. In fact, a vlogging pioneer. He may be one of the first vloggers ever on YouTube. And his vlogs are his life. His life, his family, his business. He doesn't pull any punches. He'll tell you every single detail of his life. He's very emotional, and of course, he's big on the four-letter words. If that bothers you, well, it may not be your cup of tea, but he has more energy than you can imagine. Lately, he's been doing videos on a daily basis, every day. Almost every day, they're almost an hour long. And he doesn't edit them, although recently he's taken to editing a little bit. But he had been just talking to the camera without editing at all for an hour. And he may digress a little bit. He might be a little hard to follow. He gets on one subject, and then if something catches his eye or a thought comes into his head, he may go off on another tangent. You just have to kind of roll with that because you know he's going to do it. But one of the most interesting guys on YouTube and one of the YouTube pioneers. Highly recommended the Renetto channel, Paul Robinette. And he makes candles, beautiful candles. So I suggest you take a look at him too. And of course, one of my favorites is my channel. You would be actually in an exclusive club if you subscribe to my channel, because absolutely nobody does. So if you want to be in an exclusive club, I would say subscribe to this one. You'll be one of the few. See you next time.